People. Que pasa, suck, say what they do. First thing that is popping in the news is that we see that the money that was seized on the cocoa, excess of $88 million worth of cocoa, and also the counting is still in process. To this point, they have in excess of 7 million US dollars Canadian currency also. However, initially they had said it was $5 million. People, in my estimation, this could reach in excess of 10 million US dollars. My estimation, not 100% sure. However, up to this date, it is still being counted. However, people, there is also a next country, British Virgin Islands, in which the premier, he was held at Opalaka Airport in Fort Lauderdale. This is right there at the intersection of University and Miramar Parkway. There are two major airports, one Miami International Airport, next one Fort Lauderdale Airport. This airport is more of not so commercial, more like a private airport. If you have them little twin Cessna plane, that is where you usually fly. So anyways, people, based on the information, it is said that the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Agency, they set up some sort of sting. They spoke to the Premier of BVI, British Virgin Islands, under the tutelage, under the management of UK. They spoke to him, his name is Fahy, and they also spoke to the manager of the Port Authority, and the son is also implicated. And it is said that he agreed to take a $500,000 US, $500,000 upfront payment in order to turn a blind eye for cocaine to come into British Virgin Islands and then to be imported to New York, United States, Miami. So therefore, people, it seems as if he went on a private plane, one of those twin Cessna, and he left from BVI and he went to negotiate. And people, when he went to negotiate, that is where they held him. It is also said that he was charged for conspiracy to import cocoa in a mixture. That means the brick, and also money laundering. So people, there we have it. Now people, when we think about the fact that this is BVI, British Virgin Islands, a decent place, a place that is not plagued, infested with corruption like Jamaica. Can you imagine if the United States set up some sorts of sting like that in Jamaica? Most persons, not all, a lot of persons, let me change that, would also be implicated into corruption. I am speaking about our government, both JLP, PNP, their affiliates, politicians. I am speaking about persons from customs, persons at Port Authority. Because people, let's face it, the law of probability and possibilities are US Virgin Island, British Virgin Island is a decent place. They don't have the history. They don't have the reputation. They don't have the characteristics of corruption. So therefore, if a place that is doing much better than Jamaica financially, if the premier, if the management of the Port Authority can be implicated in stuff like this, what would happen to a place like Jamaica, where corruption has been the order of the day for at least 5 or 6 decades? People, can you imagine? We see that of lately, Jamaica has been on the map for all the wrong reasons as it pertains to cocoa and weed. We saw that there was a bus for in excess of 300 million US, and then a next one for in excess of about 11 million US. Don't quote me on the last one. And then this again, 7 million so far, 7 million US Canadian currency is also involved. Now people, like them say, what don't happen in a year, happen in a day. Because less than 24 hours after that, the Narcotics Division, the Customs Border Patrol, they intercepted a boat in a Clarendon, and it had in excess of 1,714 pounds, estimated street value US $1.7 million, Jamaican $255 million Jamaican. Now people, don't we realize that, listen, this weed problem, this cocoa problem in Jamaica, it is not small. A whole lot of persons, a whole lot of players are involved. With all of the things that them put in a customs, port authority, all of the new boat them, all of the new ship them. How is it that these people are still coming in? How is it that the borders of Jamaica are still porous, coming like some sorts of strainer? That everything of lately we see all sorts of bus, all sorts of seizure. So people, are you going to tell me that the more work, the more stringent, the more strict that they get at the border is the more that they are finding stuff? So can you imagine when they were not as serious? Can you imagine how much cocoa, how much weed coming at Jamaica, exit Jamaica on a daily, weekly, yearly, annual basis? People, the sad thing about the whole thing is that with all of this money that is coming in, the more that these people get power, the more that these people get rich, is the more that they are involved with all sorts of shatter for maintain them profit margin, for maintain them safety, for maintain their foothold. So therefore people like them say, absolute power, it corrupts. And people, that is exactly what we see going on in Jamaica. Now people, like me say, I am not saying that these persons don't have all the necessary equipment, all of the artilleries to defend themselves. But what I realize is that the persons who are successful with this hustling, whether it's weed, whether it's cocoa, they refrain from all of this barbaric stuff, all of these MURDERS. That is how they maintain, that is how they can be successful, that is how they have longevity in the business, as opposed to the people who are in the lottery scamming. So pretty much, if you hustle and you focus on the money, focus on the hustle, leave out the violence, leave out the whole heap of shooting, leave out the whole heap of pie, unnecessary takeaway of life and people. I am not going to say it is ever necessary to take away anybody's life, unless of course it is self-defense, unless of course it is a relevant authority defending themselves. But me just say, this should be a blueprint. This man, the main suspect, there was an extradition order for him from 2005. We are now in 2015. And he was able to remain stealth. He was able to stay low under the radar for 17 years because people, him concentrate, him focus upon the business at hand, the business of making money. And people, I am not glorifying any sorts of thing. Me just say, for all of you knuckleheads out there, these lottery scammers, these low life that are creating the most havoc in Jamaica, The blueprint that you're using, it is a recipe for disaster. It is an exercise in futility. It is only going to get you hot. It is only going to bring the heat. It is only going to get you DEAD. Now, people, when we think about the fact that going back to the 7-point-odd million and the 88 million cocoa, when I ask most persons and people, these are persons who I consider to be honest, typical persons, people that work, people that have family. What would you do if it was you, if you was the poor, and you buck up in all of this cash? What would you do? Would you take it? People, as disturbing as it sounds, 99% of the people that I ask say, yeah, them are going to take some of the RUGS money, nobody now get hurt. And people, here is the thing. These are persons that are doing okay. These are persons that have business. These are persons that have a good 9 to 5 that can maintain them lifestyle based on the reputation of Popo in Jamaica, based on the pay scale, based on the fact that they are overworked, based on the fact that they are undermanned, based on the fact that they are stressed out, based on the fact that a lot of these people kind of corrupt from day one. What do you think, or what would you think they would do? People, me just say, I am not saying that them take any sort of money, because the truth and the fact is that it was closely monitored by Clifford Chambers, which is the Assistant Commissioner of Popo. And I am not saying that Clifford Chambers is the most honest person, Popo, in the history of Jamaica. However, I don't have any sorts of evidence to say that he is not. But people, me just attack in a general. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Bless up. So anyways, people, that is my views on the whole thing as it pertains to that. And like I say, it is just my views and opinion. It is not the gospel. Your views and opinion can be respectfully different from mine. But let me know what you think in the comment section.